Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Restore You. And it is Why Not Wednesday, so I thought, why not reinvent some of my excess supplies? So, along with that, we are going to do at least 3 projects using some of my excess supplies and things that I need to clear off of my workspace. And then, if we have time, we're going to work on these signatures. This is from my Gloria kit, and I also have some wallpaper from the wallpaper sample kits that I'm putting together. And these are some of the ones from the Gloria kit that I thought we would use to embellish. So that will be fun. I really love these. And see where we go with that. So before we get started, I'm going to do a quick shout out. So a shout out to Mary, Debbie, and Brenda for following along, for subscribing, for commenting, and just being super cool people. So welcome to our community, and I appreciate you. And if you wish and you want to follow along with all of our videos, you can subscribe below. I would appreciate it. Comment. I'd love to hear from you. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to set this aside for a second. I had quite the mess going on here. I was going through some of my templates because, like I said, I have a plethora of excess items. I have an excess of paper. I have an excess of tags and all kinds of other things, and I need to do something with them. So I was looking through and I found these cute little fold out pockets, and I had a bunch of them in my stash. This is an itty bitty one, and there's just pockets in each one of them. This one has a pocket, a tuck in the side as well. This one, I did a little book inside of it, and I'm not sure, this was not my idea, but I'm not sure where I saw this. Is a long time ago, so this has been in my stash. This is from a 12 by 12, upside down page. I have not decorated these yet. Oops, that looks like it got a little stuck together, did it? What happened? There we go. This one also looks like, that one's okay. But they're super easy to do, and all you need is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. I will use a 12 by 12, and then I think, let's look at the, let's look at what we've got for papers here. What would look better? This one actually, it's a little bit bright, but it might not be too bad. But let's just see. I have these other papers. I do not know what the brand is. I want something that's two-sided. That one's not, so that one's out. We'll just make one out of this because it will be easiest. But I do know this came from Michael's, so I think this one will be okay. Let's see. It's a little bit bright, but I think we can incorporate it somewhere in there. So we'll just roll with it. Okay. So what you're going to need to do is cut your paper to square. So if it's, like I said, this was 12 by 12, this was 10 by 10, this was 8 by 8. So we'll go ahead and, I might do 2 of these just so you guys can get the hang of it. So now, I'm going to want my scoring board, but I don't know which side. I think, actually, it really doesn't matter because it's very similar. So I needed to kind of figure out what I wanted to be my pockets and what side I wanted to be showing the most. So that one, I guess, I kind of didn't think that one through. Oh, well. All right, so all I'm going to do is take my 12, let's see, make sure that's 12 by 12. And I'm going to go down the middle at 6, so half of that. I actually am using my bone folder for the first time, I think, ever. Oh, crud, chunks. Apparently, I should just stick to my scissors. They work. I wanted to go over this again, so maybe you could see it a little bit better. And then we're going to go, 1.5 inches in. I think I'll make a smaller one on either side, so that'll be 10.5. So that you can see the dimensions on that too. And then just clip it again, or zip it again at 6. So I hope you guys are all having a fun day. It's kind of been a crazy week for me. That's gonna look pretty. So the next thing you're gonna do is, just so your pockets kind of fold correctly, I just cut a little tiny V out, and it's total designer preference how large or how small you want to make it. I just go on either side of that score mark, just a smidge. I'm not sure how much a smidge really is, but we have a softball tournament out of town this weekend, and now what I do first is I just fold these up. I don't know why. You don't have to do this, but it just makes me feel better before I show you the next step. And that is on the other side of the state. And then our office manager, Taylor, I'm worried about this because I think it's this line, is getting married, and she's actually getting married at our acreage. And several years ago, we had another friend get married. We've had several weddings at our acreage, but, okay, hang tight. Let me tell you this first. So go ahead and fold it this way. And then you're going to fold, let's see, that cut end. So now this will be your cover. I have a feeling that my lines are not going to be perfect. See? Because I screwed up that score mark. Darn it. All right. Well, that's okay. We'll just trim it. I'm going to trim it over the garbage. So we had some friends get married at the acreage several years ago, and they at first jokingly said they wanted Dave to be the officiant. He was not ordained. So he did get ordained, and now he's done several weddings, both at our venue and at our acreage. And so she is getting married this weekend, and so we're getting ready for that and trying to juggle all of that fun stuff. So now you have your little folder. I love how this turned out. Now the problem is, for my signature, I can tell you this is probably going to be too big. So it might have to go on another project, but that's, not going to work there, but very pretty. And then you're just going to glue this however you so choose. One thing you could do, and I'll show you as soon as I get these two glued together. Oh, I love this paper. I should look at, I know I have some here. I just don't know where it's at. All right, let's glue these two together, and then we'll come back to that middle part. Now, I don't have another piece of this paper, but if I did, instead of doing a pocket, instead of doing a baby journal inside of it, inside of that other flap, what you could do is use this paper as well and make a third flap, so then it would flip up yet again if you're following. Let's see. Well, but what you understand what I'm saying. You would just make this third piece, and it would just have to match that. So that's another option. It might be cute. But I think for the sake of this project, I'm going to leave this open for now because I'm not going to use it in that signature, and I'm not really sure where I want to use it. So I'm going to leave it, and I'll show you on the next one. We'll make an itty bitty one. Let's use one of my other. This is from the, oh, here, there's a 5x7 one too. Excuse me. This is from the Cherry Blossom. Oh no, I can't use that for this. This is for another project that we're going to do in a minute. I'm like, that's 8.5 by 11. Okay, let me grab a piece of paper. Let's just do this one because it's out, even though it is only one-sided. And let's do this small. So let's do this 8 by 8. This is pretty heavy cardstock. Why didn't I just use my scoring board for this? I don't know. So 8 by 8. Guys, so this is my homemade box with all of my long scraps. It is extremely heavy and needs to be, I just emptied it like not very long ago. And I don't feel like I've worked on that many projects that I have that many, but I apparently do. Okay. So 8 by 8. Let's go, okay, obviously 4 inches. And then now I need to think for a minute. I think I did 1 1/4. Guess we'll soon, oh shoot, Angela. And so then I must have done 6 3/4. That looks about right. We will soon find out. Let's just see here. Yep, they look correct. Okay, so now that's 4, and it was 1 1/4 and 6 3/4. Now I'm going to turn it this way and score it at 4 again. Apparently I need some practice with my, now I don't know which one of these lines is, well, it's going to be this top one. With my bone folder, jeez. You guys know I'm usually don't have it handy, and so I just use the edge of my scissors. Okay, so now we got those. I'm going to fold them down. Let me move this out of the way. Yowza. So let's see. Fold this down. Fold that down 4 times. Now I'm going to, and it really doesn't, I'm worried, well, I'm not worried. I'm showing you this so we can have it, have an example that already went crooked. Dag nabbit. All right, I'm going to glue these down. I have been very busy not crafting and working on, well, because we're going to be traveling so much for softball, we have tournaments almost every weekend the entire month of October. And our daughter Rhea has her homecoming, and I'll be there for that, one of those. So I'm trying to plan some projects so I can work on some of my digital kits while I'm on the road. So if you saw my how to get the smell out of books and paper, you might have seen some of the vintage greeting cards that I got. And so now you're just going to fold that over this way. You're going to fold it this way, and there's my goof up again. Jeez, Angela, your straight lines are horrible. Hold on, I'm going over there. So I'm trying to work on some of those. So I did get all the photos taken for my digitals for my first vintage greetings kit. And I also, oh God, I just cut the, okay, guess what? This is just a new thing. I cut off the wrong piece. But now we have 2 of them because I goofed it up. Oh, Angela, don't talk and do these things at the same time. Well, now we have 2 cards. Isn't that fabulous? We're just going to punch these so that they're ready. Well, there you go. Now you know how to do this if you don't want it to fold out all the way and you just want to make it into two. You just cut the top off. Voila. We'll just say I plan to do that. I am going to get some ink and ink this up really quick. So, where was that green? Okay. So I have the, I guess the first one I did, I decided, you know, people are starting to think about Christmas. Hold on, I want to show you something. I forgot I got these. I got these new daubers because I'm just not thrilled with my larger ones. I don't know. And so I got these smaller ones and they come, I just got them yesterday. Where did I get them? I think Michael's. It was either Michael's or Joann's. There's 40 of them and they come in this little case. And so they fit perfectly in my drawer. And now I can just use the daubers and I can see what colors they are and they're all in one spot. So that was a good find. And so far so good. I like how they're working. So I think I'm going to have, I believe I have 4 vintage Christmas digitals that will be coming out. Possibly more, but to start 4 of them. And they're all a little bit different. One is pastels. One is, I printed one of them just to test it, but I realized that my good printer is kind of low on ink, so I don't like, the colors aren't as vibrant as they are in real life. So I'll suck it up and order more printer. Since I've had this, is the only ink that I've gone through, which, remember, I didn't start using this until very recently, but, so I shouldn't really totally complain about it, but, gosh, it's expensive. I thought the one for my, office computer was expensive, and this is, like, way more expensive, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, one is kind of a more kidsy, vintage, you know, bright colors. One is pastels. One is blues, which is really pretty. And then the other is just kind of traditional colors. So, okay, there's what happens if you want 2 of these. Now, I could always glue those 2 together and make that into a pocket. But I kind of like it like that, so we're just going to leave it. Let's make one out of... Let me grab another piece of paper. Oh, this would be cute because... This, I think, is from Michael's. Now, this is of thinner paper, but that's okay. Shoot, it's only one-sided. Forget that. I'll grab something else. What do I have? Oh, I have that one that was one of my favorite. That color block one. I got it. I think that's the one I picked up at Walmart when I was on the road. That one right there. So let's pick one. And I know those are two-sided. So I'm really, really excited about those digitals. But then, you know, I do have so many. Let's do a bright color. Well. Come on, give me one. This one will be fine. But then I am going to be selling some of the actual greeting cards. I'm going to do a little bit of 2 things. I'm going to make a couple of journals. With them. And then I never use this thing, so. And then I'm going to just make some kits and put, let's do this one 10 by 10. And put those in my shop. And you guys probably know I don't usually sell a lot of my journals. I mostly do digitals and then ephemera kits because that is what I have a lot of and need to downsize. So while I enjoy making the journals, I think I've shared this with you before. What I love more is just showing you, are we 10 by 10? 10 by 10. How to do some of these things and, you know, include a couple little goodies in with your shipments so that you can, experiment. You can take them apart and try your own if you haven't seen the videos, all of that good stuff. Okay, so 10 by 10, I did go 1.5 on this as well. Can you see that? So 1.5, and then I went 8.5. My math skills are not the best, as you can probably tell. Oh, is that even? Okay. Set it aside. But it just brings me a lot of joy to be able to find all these goodies that I can share with all of you, and that I can preserve the past by making digitals of the ones that I find, in the fabrics and the wallpapers and all of that good stuff. And pass it on to all of you so that you can make beautiful things with them. And then I get to see all of your pretty handiwork, because, you know, I love seeing everybody's ideas and interpretations of things, because everyone's is different, and so it's just makes me happy. This is not quite so thick a cardstock as the other one. Okay, let's not do what I did last time. Even if it's off, which it is, because I just cut icky. Gosh. Of course, all of the ones that I'm going to take this over here and cut it really quick, that I did in the past when I was not on video turned out fabulous. Isn't that always how it works? So yeah, those will be coming up, and that's what I hope to get accomplished while I'm in the car for all of those hours for all of those tournaments, is finish up those digital kits. And then what else do I have that I've been working on? There you go. And then we could just glue those together just the same. Okay, let's glue this one together just so you can see. And then I'll quickly, the next little project we're going to do, actually, not the next one after that, I'm going to show you the kits. The kits are done. The wallpaper kits are done. And when I tell you I have a lot of wallpaper, I mean, I have a lot. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it like that. I could not, I needed to liquidate. So I thought, well, somebody else will love these as much as I do and can use them. And I have several different kits. The one I'm going to show you is I don't know. For those of you who love like Victorian and kind of the heavy brocades and things like that, a lot of the papers in here are like that for these kits. And they're big kits. They're There's more than 20 different pieces in there of varied sizes, and it comes in an 8.5 by 11. I'll just show you guys. So here you go. I know you won't be able to see that, but there's blues. There are, looks like there's 2 blues. There's some neutrals. There's 2 neutrals. There's a couple, 3 grays, and then there are 2 of this pinky plum color. I'll just show you one really quick. But this is what I do when we're watching a movie or watching football. Is I cut paper and wallpaper. So there's all sorts of pretty papers of varied, and they're all really textured. These are all, well, mostly in the pinks and purple family. This purpley color is gorgeous. And then there's some whites. There's a purpley that goes really well with that. I tried to put them all in some kind of, order. So if you wanted, you could do an entire kit with this. Some of those golds and stuff don't necessarily match, but they're great for other projects. So those are going in the kit, hopefully this week yet, if I get my act together. Okay, so let's just do this one, since we were talking about wallpaper. 2 things that I have a lot of. These repair tags and these guest checks. This was an accidental, ordered way too many. So what I did with them is I was like, well, I can just make mini journals out of them. And I had this wallpaper, and it was, I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. It was left over from my scraps. So I decided, let's make something with them. And so that was where this came about. All I did was my piece was a little bit bigger, so I folded it so there would be pockets here on this one and pockets here. I sewed around it and then sewed all of these right down the middle. You cannot get any easier than that. And if you wanted, you could hand stitch, slow stitch, whatever you wish to call it. And now you have a mini journal that can go in something. And then I'll just keep that one there. And then we'll just do this one and then move on to the next one. I'm not going to, my sewing machine is upstairs. So I'm just going to show you kind of how I did this. So let's see. I don't want this to be quite that long. So what I did is I just put my guest check about where I was going to want it on it, just a little bit larger. We'll use my tear ruler. And most of these wallpapers, just so you know, tear pretty easily with, I've not tried it with this tear ruler, but it tears awesome with just regular. Go ahead and punch this with your regular ruler. That's what I remember. It does not punch well with my corner rounder. It maybe, like, if you had We Are Memory Keepers, the Big Chomp, it might work better. Mine's just this little one. So then what I did is I just did opposite. So I folded them right in half. Right in half. Let's try that again. And I just did opposite ones. So I just went kind of back and forth. And you can do as many pages as you want. And if you or me, you probably need to do, let's do this one the same way. 10 or 12 or 14 or 16 of these. But then all I did, well, I had sewn around this first. And then I just folded this in half. That pink's not quite as... And then I stuck that directly in the middle. And then just clipped it on both sides and then went right down the center. And there you have it. It ends up looking like this. So easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it's quick. Okay, so here's the second one I did. This was after I did the guest checks. I'm like, well, what else do I have? That's why we're Why Not Wednesdaying it with using up the overload. So I had all these repair tags, and so I thought, well, I haven't done anything with them. I just did this. Why not make it into a mini journal with the tags? And I left these on for right now because why not? I'm not one of those people that likes a lot of strings and edgy stuff all over the side of my journals, but I thought that was kind of cute. So what I thought we would do is, I'll make one with you, and if we have time later, we'll decorate this one. And then I did glue the back tag onto the wallpaper. And this wallpaper is so durable, and I did punch the holes. I probably need to do a little reinforcer to make it look pretty. Is really durable, and it's great to use for these mini journals. So let me show you how I did it. Let's get another piece of wallpaper. Okay, so this one is a little bit bigger, so we're gonna do this. Let's see. Okay. And I want it a little bit bigger on this side. And I think what we'll do, since this one's a little bit different than the last one, and I do like the raw edges on the wallpaper. I think it looks cool. So what we could do with this one, let me see. I'm thinking we can just make this a tuck. So let's do that. And I am going to go ahead and glue this down. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to try it that way. It may not work the best because the tag's going to be there, but it's worth a shot. Okay. Now this glue is fabric. It's either Fabri-Fix or Fabri-Tac. I don't remember which one. And you do have to press a little bit harder for the glue to stick on that wallpaper. So now we're just going to cut it there. And there. One down. And now, let me just see, how did I... Not that you have to, there's no real right way to do it, but it looks like I did both of these the same. So then I just eyeballed that so that it fit. Okay, hang on. Let's just cut this one first. Oh, I have to show you. So Demery needed, they're building an ecosystem, and they had this list of things that they needed for the project. Oh dear Lord. I was like, really, Demi? Do half of these people even know what these items are? Because some of them were pretty crazy, but she got lucky for the most part. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure that these are lined up. And then I just glued them on. But she needed algae, which, you just pick that up anywhere, right? And water moss. So if you do not know this, the pet store does sell water moss in different varieties. I might have to turn that a little bit. The other one was about the perfect size, so I didn't have to do that. But I want it right here, I think. So I went to the pet store while she was at practice, and sure enough, they had the moss, which I was happy about. And then I'm like, okay, I need algae. She's like, well, I can get some from the tank. And so that's exactly what she did, was she went to the fish tank and then just dug it out with her hands. I was like, ugh, and put it in a bag just like you'd put a goldfish, and off I went. So while I was there, I thought Zenny needed a little something, something. I'm going to take this one off. So I picked up this adorable t-shirt for her. And if she meanders in here, I'll have to show it to you. But it's a t-shirt. Well, I was sent there, and Demi had said, oh, if they have Halloween costumes, look for a Halloween costume for her. Well, by the way, this was a lot easier the last time. I did not have to cut each one of them, but it's because of the size of this. So just to be noted. So I didn't like any of the costumes. One year she was Wonder Woman. One year she was, what was she? Oh, a ladybug. And then last year, our extended family, my aunts and uncles and cousins, and had a dog costume contest. And actually, we designed because we were in Corona, so we couldn't leave. So we designed she was actually the coronavirus and had her little hat was this, a piece of styrofoam, like, those styrofoams you used to make like bouquets and flower or arrangements. And then we I don't even remember how we actually made it, but the kids and I had fun because it was a big DIY project. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that one like it is, and then we'll just fold them. So now, all you have to do, so we were kind of tongue-in-cheek, making the best of the times, and she did look pretty cute. And it was a nice little family thing that we did together, so. All right, easy peasy. You're just folding them in half. And this is how simple this one is. It was simpler last time when my page was the exact same. And my sewing machine is also an embroidery machine. So, I mean, I had at least five cards in the first one. So, it went through with no problem. But you may want to keep that in mind. That tag might have to have something done to it, I think. No, maybe not. And there you have it. And you put them all in. And line them up. Oh, I need to cut this one. So I don't know what she's going to be for Halloween, but back to, I found this cute, adorable t-shirt. And I don't know if you've seen in some of my videos, I wear a lot of shirts with sayings on them. Both Dave and I do. It's just something we like to do. And so her shirt has this adorable rainbow on it in these muted colors. She looks very diva-ish. And it says, "It's a good day for a good day." So cute. And she looks really super sweet in it. But she must be a little camera shy today because I think she's in the family room just taking a snooze. So once you get that done, then you're just going to sew down the middle And, you know, you could leave it just exactly how it is, or you could just decorate it. So that one is pretty simple. I'm going to show you the last project, and then we'll get back to doing a little decor. Okay, last project. This was one I did a really, really, really long time ago. So I may have to look it back up. But this is what I'm calling a letter in an envelope, which that sounds like, of course there's a letter in an envelope. But here's what it actually is. I was looking at this because I have a birthday coming up, and this is just a little clip I made out of a hair clippy, which I have a video on that, I think. In my playlist, it's probably under, well, I know it's under a creative movement, to restore you a creative movement. But all you're going to do is use one piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. And the intent is that first you would write your letter either this way or this way. And then you fold it all up. And you can either use a clip like that to secure it. You could use, you could actually, I don't know. I suppose you could try mailing it just like that but use a sticker here. I should try it and see what happens. And then this was was in with my templates. So this is how we're going to make these. And then I made a mini one out of a 5x7 piece of paper. So of all the projects, this one is truly the very easiest. And you could sit down and, watch TV and do this in no time flat. So let's start with this one. And you could use, two-sided paper if you want. So you're going to start with your paper like this. And I think I did probably like 1.5 inches up, but the template that I originally did, I folded up. It said 1 5/8, and I was like, I'm just eyeballing it. So so that was phase 1 with your page on. Okay, I want to make sure that that's. Apparently, I'm on the struggle bus with straight lines today. Okay. So step 1, you're just going to, in landscape, just fold up about 1.5 to 1 5/8. The second thing you're going to do, and I find this easier if I turn the page. So what I want to do is create these folds, and these folds need to have a space at the top. So it's easier if I just turn it. But I know that can be kind of confusing for you guys watching, so just kind of bear with me. So what I do is I just I try to get to as close as I can. And like I said, it's much easier with just a regular sheet of paper. Cardstock is a little bit more difficult just because it's not as pliable. That looks pretty straight. So when you're done, it should look like that. And then your third step is you're just going to fold. Let me do it on this so you can see. You're just going to fold these sides directly into touch. Again, it is easier for me to kind of turn it a little bit so that I try to get it as even as possible. So there you have it. That looks pretty darn good. And then you just fold, fold. Again, I'm going to turn it around just so I know it's over that flap. And then we should find something that we can seal it with. Let's see. Oh, you know what we could use? Let me just use this little. That one doesn't really look cute, but let's do another one. So when I was looking through my stash, I don't know how long I've had these. They're called Page Pebbles. And when I was on vacation, I had made a bunch of stickers out of one of the digital kits that I was getting ready to list. And I only had one kind of duct tape, and it's supposed to be see-through. I didn't have like just clear tape. So I didn't really like how they, that you can see this stuff here. So I thought, oh, those page pebbles might work. And yes, they did. So let's just cut this off. And now if you wanted this to, like on these others that I did, I just put them away. On these others, if they're not getting sent, I just did this to cover it, and then they can just lift it up. But this one, we're just going to go ahead and make it as a seal. They don't stick that hard that, you know what, let me cut around that first. That I won't be able to get it back open. And, if you haven't written on it first, you can always pop it open and then. And this is that parchment paper I was telling you about that I had never seen before, but since I've been home from vacation, I bought some because I like the brown color of it. And then, and you could also, if you want, just stick that there and put something underneath it so it doesn't stick. But now you have your little letter. It's a letter and envelope in one. So let's make one more. This is from the cherry blossom I was telling you about. Okay, let me move some stuff out of the way here. Oh, and here, by the way, although I did stick my finger in it, so it probably is not going to be that great. If you don't have these, and I don't even know if they make them. I don't know how long I've had these. They're from Making Memories, and they were from Hobby Lobby, and they're called Page Pebbles. But if you don't have that and you have some kind of, this is liquid glass from Close to My Heart. Others make it, but any kind of liquid glue, I don't think the glitter glue would work. But anyway, if you look close enough, you can see that that also has a sheen to it. And so that worked to solve my problem with not wanting to throw away all of those stickers that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted them. Okay, so 8.5 by 11 piece paper. This is going to be a little bit more difficult because this is really good cardstock. Fold up about 1.5 inches to 1 5/8 inches. I'm going to turn it around. See, this is where it gets, this cardstock is a lot harder. I just grab both sides and we might have to come up a little bit more on that one. You don't have to. It's not going to really matter, but we'll see how this looks. When we do it this way. Here we go. These are exactly for some reason. How could that be? Do you see how that's like off? But yet the points are exactly the same. What did I do? Huh. Well, for the sake of our example, I'm going to just deal with it and leave it. That's going to drive me crazy. This is really pretty. This is one of my favorite papers that I've designed in that kit. Okay, here we go. But see how, now this one is a little more substantial, so it may fare much better than just a regular piece of paper in the mail. I don't know if you decide to try to mail one of these like that. And you could adhere it so that it is a little bit more secure. Maybe you could put washi tape or something on it. How cute is that? Let's see if I've got something. Oh no, those won't work. These, by the way, are yo-yos. And in my second travel video of my top 10 things to take on the road with you, we are going to make those. So that's fun. Let's just do this 5x7 one. So this one, I have no idea how far I came up. A little less than an inch, it looks like. But I mean, imagine how many of these you could make. And they're great. You could just, they'd be great for journaling cards. So people could open this all up, journal in it, close it back up in tucks and pockets. The possibilities are endless, as I always say. Okay, here we go. I like these cute little ones too. I think they're, and this one's got a nice color. This might work. Okay, now see that? They're equally lined up. If somebody knows what happened with that other one, you just tell me because I'm perplexed. Turn it around. See? Perfect. Weird. You know what it could have been, now that I'm thinking about it, because that's got an edge on it from my digitals, and perhaps when I cut it down, it didn't actually I didn't cut it even. That could be what it was. Let's go with that, because it wouldn't be unusual that I didn't cut something straight. Okay, let's put another sticker on that, because these are cute. This one would go cute with, what else do I have? I do have the rose. This is from the Ida kit. Let's use that one. It's cuter. Boy, I'm using these things up. That's awesome. Where are we at for time? I can't see whatsoever. There's a glare on my camera. So what else has been going on in my world? What have I been working on? I've been doing lots of cutting. Oh, I know. I know something exciting. I think I might have mentioned this in one of my videos, but I scored a whole lot of vintage wrapping paper. And there was, I mean, most of them were still like in the, oh no, this didn't, well, that's okay. I pulled off the whole back of it. Oops, sorry. So we're just going to go halfway with that, since this is not going to stick. And then that way, what we could do is, I'm going to let that dry though. We could put something here to kind of tuck under it, but we'll let that dry. Cute, cute. So anyway, there, and a lot of them are really old. There's lots of wedding and shower pieces. There's some vintage, like kids. Like, I think there was like maybe a Snow White. There was something that was, I don't remember what it was, but there were some really cute ones of the day, like Snoopy or something like that. So they were from like the, well, there were some that were really old, like probably like maybe the 40s. And then the rest of them were from like 60s and 70s. Two little things we're going to do while we're playing is I have these lying around, and I think that they will look cute in this with this journal. So I created this one, Never Stop Exploring, Love You to the Moon and Back, which is what my mom says to my grandkids, or my kids all the time, and Find Joy in the Ordinary. But I thought, well, why I have this out? This is the offcuts of the video that I did when I showed you how to print on fabric, which, if you haven't seen that one, okay, I should probably write that down. It is one of my, which Why Not Wednesday is it? It's a Why Not Wednesday, and I'll find it and I'll put it in the description. But it's not titled as showing you guys how to do paper. I don't know what I was thinking. So there, we just have 3 more little words here. So let's do the rest of these. Real quick, like a bunny. I always tell my kids that block needs to be cleaned off. Okay, shut my little dabber thing. I think I'm just gonna go with these 2 colors and then just olive and pink. So black and I'm gonna see if I have a different pinky color. This hollyhock might be a little more muted. Let's try that one first. So there's a glare. Sweet. I'm going to do a couple of those. And as I was taught very long ago, and I just can't seem to get away with it, or get away from it, is always bring your stamp to your ink. Somebody asked recently about cleaning my stamps and what I use. This is, and there's a link below, but this is a close to my heart double scrubber. So one side you keep dry, the other one you spray wet, and then you just wipe off your, and then there's you can just use a spritzer. I'm not really sure what's in there, but I think you could probably just use something homemade if you wanted. All right, what should we do next? This is something I did just buy last night too. See, this is the bad thing. When you go to, when you have to go to the pet store and Joann's is on one side of the pet store and Michael's is on the other. In fact, I took my daughter to practice. Her friend's mom picked her up and she called me and she was already at home and I had been there for, well, almost 2 hours. She's like, where are you? What are you doing? Cute. Let's do a couple of those too. What did I just do? I didn't do what I told you to do. Bring the ink to the stamp. All right, so we got those 2 done. And those other little ones. So yeah, I was just walking through. I needed I needed nothing really. There was a couple things. I needed some more glue sticks. They didn't have the ones I wanted, so I just made a compromise. And let's do some black on here. And that was about all I really needed. So everything else that I bought, I could have probably done without. One other thing I want to tell you, stamping is always nice to do with your fabric. But the other thing that I do, if I've printed on it and it still has it's still on the backing, I will stick it in my typewriter. I showed you in one of our Why Not Wednesdays how I use my typewriter. Oh, that's cute. It says always take the scenic route. And that would be cute to put in my travel journal. And then you can just put it in your typewriter if you have a typewriter. And type your little heart out. It works perfect. Wonderful. So now we got that. Now I can use those for something. One more little project on our Why Not Wednesday. Why not just do all kinds of things? And let's see, where are these? Love with your own heart. And this even came with a little fun stencil, so we'll have to try that. All right, I'll cut those up off camera and stick them in my Word book. Oh, and another thing, just so y'all know, all those greeting cards, when I did one of the things that I wanted to get the smell out of was the boxes that they were in. And so I had asked a group I was in for some recommendations, like, what should I do with all these? And they had fantastic ideas. Well, one was to put my ephemera in it, which I did. And now I'm still not sure that I really like how that is going. So it may change, but they're all in separate boxes. I haven't labeled them. But they're there. Okay. Last thing with just like little randomness. When I was at Michael's last night, they had these in that, $2.49 bin, and not a fan of what they look like, but I decided to redo them. They're just little bookmarks. So easy enough. And my whole point of showing you this is, a lot of times, like, we get in a zone where we're like, that's not really my style. But think about how you can repurpose it. Like, those are not anything I would ever use. And I just laid these here until they dried. I'm just going to do these in 3 different colors. I'll set them right here so we can see what they look like when they're all done. Why don't we use, let's see. Trying to find something with small. Here's just a black and white. Let's try this one. They can easily be repurposed and made into something lovely for your ephemera collection. Which another reason I need to be doing a journal or 2 to put on Etsy is because my ephemera boxes are getting a little overloaded. Okay, last one. I really need to see what time. Oh, we are way over time. We're going to have to wrap this up, and I'm going to have to come back and decorate. All right, one last one. This one might go with some of those. This color. So we'll do it. I think we'll do a part 2. And I'll come back and we can cut out some of these fun things and decorate the little tag book. And we'll just do that for the next Why Not Wednesday. Because why not? Oh, for the love of Pete. Oh, now I'm getting glue on it. Okay, must not. Well, that one might not work out. I must have really missed this on the glue-ish. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. When we come back, I will show you the finished product and maybe we'll embellish those. And then we will start on filling this signature. And then maybe we'll talk about what I want to do with the cover. So maybe I'll get a few things out and you guys can give me your ideas on what to use. So I appreciate you joining me on this Why Not Wednesday. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week. And as always, remember to take time to just be. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.